This is a prime example of not only mismarketing trailers, but also the prime example of a little phrase, expect the unexpected. What's up, everyone? It's Epictastic Joshua here. If you're wondering why my voice is a little lower than usual, it's because my sis sent her little friend over there asleep, so I'm going to make this as calmer than usual and a little bit quieter than usual talking about this one. So, the movie I am discussing is the new Disney version of more a reboot of one of their famous theme parks. In the case of the Haunted Mansion, 2023 Haunted Mansion, not the Eddie Murphy one, even though I don't hate that one. This is the new one that I unfortunately missed out on back a few months ago. But this is the second theatrical film adaptation of The Haunted Mansion, of course. Following the 2003 movie, this is directed by Justin Simien from a screenplay by Katie Dippold, one of the writers of the much dreaded Ghostbusters 2016. Let that sink in. This stars LaKeith Stanfield, Rosario Dawson, Jared Leto, Tiffany Haddish, Danny DeVito, and then Levy. In this new film version of The Haunted Mansion, we follow a woman named Gabby and her son as they enlist the aid of a team of so-called spiritual experts to help rid their home of the supernatural squatters. I'll be honest when it comes to this. When it comes to the trailer for this, I was curious a little bit, but at the same time, I was very distracted by a lot of the god-awful CGI in the trailers, and also it didn't really give much of an entertainment vibe when it comes to it. I thought this was just going to be another run-in-the-mill, unnecessary train wreck for Disney, and I'll be honest when it comes to it. Disney lately has been having some pretty hit and miss stuff. For anything great they do that I do enjoy, even on Disney Plus, there's always something that messes it up. I went into this optimistic. I heard from another YouTube friend of mine at how decent this was, and I'll tell you right now, I was not going to watch this movie, but it was part of the Halloween spooktacular, and I wanted to give this shit a shot. So, what was the worst that could happen? What? I can definitely say that this new Haunted Mansion, it wasn't terrible. I went in expecting a way worse than I thought it was going to be, but this is a prime example of expect the unexpected and not give in to the pessimism here. To the point where I actually think this is one of the more underrated films of 2023. And this is definitely more up to my speed in terms of a Haunted Mansion movie. Now, I never said this movie is perfect, but I definitely did enjoy what this movie was going on. What I liked in the movie first, I will say, I think from a direction standpoint, from the director of this, which I have never heard of this director, Justin Simien. He did a movie called Dear White People, and he also did the TV show of the same name, as well as Bad Hair, which I didn't see, but I heard some pretty good things about. But this one, I went into it expecting his direction to be pretty capable, and I would say from a directing standpoint it is very well done. It is a well directed film. There's a lot of good competency here when it comes to it, and I thought a lot of it was very fun. From a direction standpoint, the movie looks very well directed. It's very slickly made. $150 million budget, and it did not look cheap. It definitely has a good, decent sized budget. Definitely, you can see that is very good. I will say, this director, he knew what he's doing. He and Katie Dippold, the writer of 2016 Ghostbusters, which this is way better written in terms of a script. There's actual characters this time around. There's actual humor in here that makes me laugh this time around. And for this being another version of Haunted Mansion, it does its own thing. It's not shot for shot, and there's some entertaining factors here in terms of what the director chooses to play with. You do have the supernatural stuff, you do have the horror stuff, and you do have the comedy stuff here. Cinematography wise by Jeffrey Waldron, and editing wise by Philip J. Bartle. That is well done on technical aspects. They put a lot of work into it, and they make sure that it's a competently edited film and competently shot film. You can see what's going on. There's some great effects work here. It's not a lot of shaky cam. It's not a lot of jump scare stuff. And this is not really a scary movie, but compared to the 2003 one, it's definitely much more easier to take in, especially what you're going in for. Creatively done in terms of cinematography with the effects and such. The effects look way better here than they do in the trailer. I'll say that right now. I like the effects. They look way better here. But not only that, you have some good production design, you have some good costume design, and also it's a very good hair and makeup design. So it's not all done in a computer. There is some actual attempts to actually make it look practical. For a PG-13 movie, you do get your comedy. So if you're coming to get comedy, you do get that. But it also has some creepy moments to it, and there's a very good message in here about themes about having to let go of the past and having to move on, which we've seen this done a lot, but that is a theme that I can easily always resonate to, and I can tolerate it in this type of movie because we're dealing with a mother and a son grieving, and they're also dealing with LaKeith Stanfield, his character. He's also really grieving and hurting with his character, which I will say he was great here. And so acting wise, everyone was great. It's Ben Matthews. I like him. He does a very good job in terms of what he does here, and his performance was very good. There are some great emotions here. There's some great emotional weight here. There is some very good parts in terms of what he's saying here, and he has a lot of gravitas to him. There's a lot of humanity, there's a lot of expression, there's a lot of emotion. He's mainly acted more with his face than with his mouth, so he has some good dialogue, but it's all in the facial expressions. And LaKeith Stanfield is a Oscar-nominated actor. He did great in Short Term 12, which he was younger there. He was great in Knives Out, and he was really good in Judas and the Black Messiah, even though that movie was a hard watch. He commits here. You have Rosario Dawson here, which she's always great to see. She was fun as Ahsoka. I also like the son in here, Chase Dillon. He did good. Owen Wilson was good. I definitely, surprisingly liked Jared Leto here. It's definitely a step up with Morbius. He still has his little weird isms, but that's just Jared Leto. That's just how it's going to be when it comes to him. You also have Winona Ryder here as a cameo, as a tour guide, Daniel Levy. You have Joe Coy. You have Jamie Lee Curtis here, which she made me laugh too. And you had Danny DeVito in here. So the acting was very good in this. Musical score wise by Chris Bowers. I like the music here. It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. I love the score. There's not a lot of things that goes over the limit, and it's a good score. The movie's not perfect though. I'm going to go into some much needed issues I need to discuss. Let's just get into it now, because I'm just gonna say it. I do think the movie's jokes, some of them, while funny, I think some of the other jokes didn't really hit as much as it should have hit. And there's quite a few moments here where you could have written some of the jokes better. Some of the actors that I mentioned does get a little underutilized, so I will give that to another detriment to the movie. When it comes, in the case of Tiffany Haddish here, she was just there. You know, I am not her biggest fan. There's a few movies of hers I have enjoyed her in. I liked her in Night School, Girls Trips, which I finally watched last year. She was not bad in it. And here, she's fine. She's there, she does her job. Didn't really like her in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Lego Movie 2, she was just there. But not the biggest Tiffany Haddish fan here. But the film does go on a little too long. But for the most part, it did keep a neat pace. So in conclusion, when it comes to 2023 Haunted Mansion, it's not terrible. This is one of my more overlooked and underrated gems of 2023. This is an underrated gem that not only deserved better as far as the critical reception goes, but also box office wise goes. But luckily with Disney Plus and with audiences, they mostly enjoy it. So it has its fan base. I was genuinely shocked at how fun this was. The acting was good, I thought the direction was cool, and it was a competently made movie. So if you are a fan of spooky haunted house stuff, I would say give this a watch. Just don't go in expecting this to be the 2003 version. Know that this is going to be a little bit more scarier, and please be assured that this is not going to be a movie for kids, because kids will be scarred by this. They will get scared by it. This is a PG-13, so if they can handle it, show it to them. But it is a entertaining watch. Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. If you want to see more, my channel icon is up here. If you want to see more content from me, all my social medias are right here in this end card. I will also leave a playlist and a video here for you to see what the channel is about. As always, acknowledge me, stay Epictastic, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.